The drama starts in 1991 in a town where the female lead, Tang, is very sad. She had to leave the town. She cries in front of her grandma's picture, saying, "Sorry," holding a knife and a letter in her hand. She comes out of the house. She puts that letter in the postbox and says, "I have given up now. If I got one more chance, I would fix everything." A cat is there. Tang sees it, and a sound comes from the postbox. Tang disappears. That cat is still there. The next scene is in 2026 in Beijing City. There is a factory, and there is a security guard. He hears a sound. Outside, it is snowing heavily. He comes out and sees that a cat is sitting in front of the postbox, and he also hears a sound. He ignores it. The next morning, an old man is sitting in front of the postbox. The security guard tells him, "Leave," but the old man doesn't go because he is waiting for someone's letter. The guard had arrived there only 2 months ago and has been seeing that old man. Just then, the old man's daughter, Nian, comes and takes him from there. On the way, they meet the house owners who tell them, "Vacate the house by tomorrow." So Nian says, "We will go to Beijing tomorrow itself. My father has a heart problem and I will sign these documents and send them." When she comes inside the house, she gets very angry with her dad. She tells him, "Pack," but he is only waiting for that letter. He doesn't want to go. Dad quietly goes inside and starts writing a letter. In the morning, when Nian wakes up, she doesn't see her father there. She finds a letter in which he had written, "I don't want to trouble you anymore, Nian. I am leaving from here. When my work is finished, I will come back." Reading this, she gets tense. She goes to the police station and sees her dad in the factory's CCTV footage. But the policemen tell her, "Your dad is not in the factory," and tell Nian, "Don't worry." When she is returning home, the security guard stops her. He tells her, "I have seen your dad, and I can't believe what I saw." So she says, "Tell me clearly." The guard then tells her, "Your father came to the factory at night to post a letter. When he put that letter in the letterbox, a cat was roaming around. Then, as soon as I turned back to look, your dad had vanished. And then I heard a sound. I opened that box and looked, but the letter wasn't in it." Nian doesn't believe this. The security guard leaves from there. Then Nian sends a voice note to her dad, in which she says, "I am sorry," and asks, "Please come back." Then she sees that same cat there, and getting scared of it, she falls down. Just then, the same security guard comes back, so she asks him, "Was this the same cat?" He says, "Yes." Just then, there is a stir in the postbox. Nian opens it and sees that a letter has arrived, addressed to Tang, from 1991. The next scene is in 1991, with the drama's male main lead, Yi Shun, who lives with some goons who work as debt collectors. He lives with them. The leader of that group tells them, "Collect a debt from Yi Bo's house." When they go to Yi Bo's house, a girl is sitting in front of a photo there, who is Tang. They ask her about her dad. So she says, "I don't know anything, and it's only been 7 days since my grandma's death." Those goons ask her for the money, but she doesn't tell them. Just then, those goons find her grandma's money. When they start to leave, she stops them and throws a stone. At this, they push her down and leave. As they are leaving her house, they see a man on the road carrying some things. With him is also a cat. A chair from his things falls on Yi Shun, so he helps them. They say, "Thanks," to him. Then, they have to collect money from a rich man, but that man's goons also go there. Then a fight happens between the two groups, in which the 3 of them get quite injured. Then the group leader gives everyone their share of the money and tells them, "Get treatment." He also tells Yi Shun, "Stay away from everyone because your school is about to start," to which he also agrees. Yi Shun comes home and puts that money with his previously saved money. The next day, Yi Shun goes to school. The teacher, who is his friend from the orphanage, scolds him for coming late and takes him to the class. Tang is also in the same class. She asks Tang, "Help Yi Shun." After school, he is leaving when 2 boys stop him. They start asking him about his old school and house, but he doesn't tell them anything and starts to leave. Just then, Tang stops him and asks, "Give me my grandma's money." Yi Shun says, "Your dad took money from us, so we took it back." Just then, Tang's friend arrives there and takes her away. Tang was working in a bookstore, and its owner says, "I have thought of a scheme to send a letter to one's future self." Everyone really likes this idea. Whoever writes a letter will get a discount on a postcard. Tang starts working according to that plan. When the owner pays her, she is outside, writing about the new scheme on a board. Just then, the same old man passes by who was carrying that cat in his cart. There were some cardboards outside the shop, so the old man asks her, "Can I have those cardboards?" Tang gives them to him and also helps him pull his cart. Just then, she also notices the postbox. On the other side, we see Hao, who is teaching some kids a ball game. Then, taking some packets of chips, he goes to a girl whose name is Shen Zhou. He likes her. After giving her the chip packets and talking to her, he comes back after a little while. Meanwhile, the mafia group for which Dong works is named Bao. There was a man there, Shen, who insults Dong because he couldn't bring back Yibo's money. Dong says, Yibo's daughter was there and I did what I could. Just then, Bao says, Yibo took money for his mother's treatment, so now he has to take that money back. Now, when Dong was sitting with Yishun and Hao, he says, now we have collected good money. We will buy a boat and won't do any illegal work with Bao, and we won't go to Yibo's house for money again, because his daughter earns money by doing a part-time job. Yishun and Hao become very happy. The next day, Tang sees that a post box has been placed in front of the bookshop. The owner says, we will now use it for our shop. Then he gives a letter to Tang that had come in her name. She is shocked after reading the letter. The students were collecting funds for the school classrooms. Her classmate says, you are going to collect this money and take it home. She doesn't say anything and asks Yishun, come out of the class. She asks, what about the letter? And he says, I didn't write any letter. Then a boy from their class takes a letter out of Yishun's bag and starts reading it. It is a love letter. The whole class starts laughing. Yishun says, I didn't write anything like that. Just then, the teacher calls them to the office and tells them, speak the truth. Yishun says, I didn't write anything like that. I didn't write any letter. The teacher dismisses the matter right there. When Yishun comes to the class, he finds out that the boy had played a joke on them. The boy says, I found the letter in Tang's bag. Just then, Tang and her dad also arrive there. They start explaining to both of them lovingly and ask, what about the letter? They tell them, we were all joking. The letter has been thrown in the dustbin. Tang and her dad leave from there. Then, Yishun picks up the letter from the dustbin and starts reading it. It said, I want to take Tang out of her toxic life and give her a good life. Yishun was confused and thought, I haven't written the letter to Tang, but the handwriting is mine. On the other hand, Yibo comes home and beats Tang a lot. He tells her, you're just like your mother. You kissed Yishun. Then he takes her income and the class funds from her. He was a gambler and bets that money on gambling. On the other hand, Yishun understands that Tang and her dad's relationship is not good, and he decides to return Tang's money. But Hao forbids him from doing so. Yishun says, it's my money, I'll do whatever I want. Tang writes a letter. It is a suicide note in which she writes, today, I will kill Yibo. I couldn't even find my mother. I will kill Yibo and then kill myself. Just then, holding the letter and a knife, she comes out. She puts the letter in the post box and goes out to find Yibo. Just then, that cat also arrives there. When Yisun can't find Tang, he also goes out to look for Yibo. Tang arrives at the club where her dad was gambling. She attacks him with a knife. Just then, Yisun comes and stops her, and after reasoning with her, takes her from there. At this, she starts shouting at him instead. So he says, nothing would have happened with this knife. Instead, you would have gone to jail. Just then, 2 police officers arrive there and take Tang from there because Yibo went to the police station and filed a complaint. Tang attacked me. Her mental state is not stable. She hits me at home too. Hearing this, Tang starts shouting again. So Yishun tells them, her mental state is really not well. I will take her home. Just then, Yibo says, you all have seen for yourselves that her mental health is not good. Just then the policemen say, she needs proper treatment. Why don't you people get her treated? So Yishun says, I will take her right now. Coming outside, Tang shouts at Yishun, why did you do that? Why did you lie to the police? Yishun says, I did it because if I hadn't, your future would have been ruined. You would have gone to jail, and your schooling would have been discontinued. So she asks him, why are you helping me? He says, I know Yibo is not a good person. Tang tells him, Yibo had taken my income and the class funds I collected too. I went to kill him. Yishun goes to drop her home, but Bao's men are in Tang's house. Seeing them, they both run from there. When those men leave, Yishun asks, don't you have any other place to stay? She says, no, at which he brings her to his house. While comforting her, he also gives her food and water and tells her, sleep on the bed. He himself goes to his friend Hao's shop. Over there, Hao gets into a fight with some people because they were making fun of Hao's girlfriend, Shenzhou, who is disabled. At this, Hao quarrels a lot with them. The next scene is in 2026 with Nian and the security guard who tear the letter's cover. He says, this is the work of some spirit. Just then, Nian gets a call from the police station. When she goes to the police station, the officer asks her, give me all of your dad's details and also his ID. So she says, my dad never gave me an ID. Then he asks her, give me your ID. Her dad's name is Yu Ji-hong. When the officer pulls up the details, he is shocked that according to official records, Yu Ji-hong died 20 years ago. Neon is shocked and says, but I saw him in the CCTV footage yesterday. Neon is very upset. Coming home, she starts searching, hoping to find some clue. Just then, she finds some train tickets. Then she also finds a postcard with Tang written on it. She quickly looks at the letter, which also has Tang written on it. The next scene shows a boy who has just returned from abroad today. He goes home to meet his mother, but no one is there. He gets worried. Just then, his mom's home landline rings, and he is told, on a deserted side of the mountain, a lady named Tang's car is parked, and it has been there for many days. We tried to reach out many times, but no one received the call. The boy is shocked. Then, in 1991, Yishun goes home, but Tang has already left from there, and she hadn't even touched the food. Tang comes to school. The teacher asks her, "What about the money?" But she doesn't say anything and says, "I will give them the money soon." She comes back to the class, and all the classmates were talking about yesterday's incident, about her and her dad. Yishun tells them that none of this happened. Just then, Yibo also arrives there and creates a drama. In front of everyone, he says, Tang went somewhere with Yishun at night. Yishun hits him. Everyone holds him back. Then, Yibo goes to the principal's office and says, Tang has become like this only because of Yishun. Now we don't even have money for food, and I've been beaten so much that I don't have money to go to the hospital. The principal gives him some money for compensation. Yibo leaves from there. The teacher says to Yishun, "What is all this you are doing?" He tells her, "Yibo is not a good person, and if there is any problem, you can suspend me from school." So she says, "I gave you such a good chance." Yishun says, "I will leave from here," and also returns the fund money. Yishun leaves the school. Tang gets very upset seeing this because Yishun did this to save her. After this, Yishun and Hao come to Dong's shop. He gets angry at them and says, "You two fought with Bao's men because of girls. Now Bao will not spare us." They both say, "Sorry." Yishun comes to the bookshop to meet Tang and also brings soup for her. They both sit and start eating. Then Tang gives him the class money and tells him, "If you don't take this, I won't talk to you." He also gives her grandma's money back to her and says, "If you don't take the money back, I won't talk to you either." Then he gives her the phone number of Dong's shop, saying, "Call me here if you need anything." Tang then starts writing a letter. He pieces together the torn bits of the letter and reads it again. In the next scene, the owner of the house comes to Neon. She tells them, "My father is lost. That's why I couldn't vacate the house." But they don't agree. Just then, Neon's friend, Mahi, who is pregnant, arrives there. She tells them, "Leave from here." Seeing Mahi pregnant, the owners leave. Then she tells Mahi about her father's name and Tang's letter. Mahi also gets very confused. In the next scene, Neon comes to the same city that was written on the postcard and starts asking everyone about Tang. Then she goes to the police station and asks for Tang's address from 1991, when she was 19 years old. The police officer refuses to give anyone's information. She says, "She is my aunt." Just then, a boy comes there, and Neon leaves from there. That boy says, "I am Shen Cheng. My mother, Tang, is missing." The officer says, "A girl just left." She was also asking about Tang. Shen Cheng brings Neon back to the police station and asks, "How do you know Tang?" She tells him everything about the postcard, the letters, and her father going missing. But Shen Cheng doesn't believe her. He thinks she is the one who has kidnapped Tang. Neon gets angry at him. Just then, the police officer says, Neon's father has also disappeared. Then he calms them both down and says, "First, you both need to find out what the relation between them was." They get together, and Shen Cheng takes her to his house. Neon asks him about his dad. He tells her, "When I was 10 years old, they got divorced. My mom lived here, and I went abroad with my dad." Neon says, "You didn't care about your mom, first leaving her here alone, and now you are worried about her." He says, "I wanted to take her with me, but she wanted to stay here." Then they show some things to each other. Neon shows him the letter, which is dated 1991. He can't believe it and thinks, how can such an old letter and the page be completely new? Neon wants to see his mother's things, but he refuses. He doesn't like anyone touching his mom's things. He wasn't trusting her much. He just wanted to solve this mystery. They both come to the station. It is very cold. They are waiting for the train. Shen Cheng is suspicious of Neon here too, thinking, she might kill me in this deserted place. Neon says, "If you are having doubts, you can go back." Next scene, 1991. In Dong's shop, Bao comes with his men. Yishun also comes there. Bao slaps his men one by one and says, "Now you too, make your men understand." At this, Dong beats Yishun and Hao a lot, and Bao and his men smile. On the other hand, Tang remembers that she had written a suicide note and that it is in the post. When she opens it, she doesn't find her letter in it, so she gets worried and calls Yishun. Yishun, while being beaten, doesn't attend her call. In the next scene, Dong gets ready to give Bao the money that they had all collected to buy a boat, so that the fight would end. After Bao leaves, his men attack them. This was their plan, so that Bao could take revenge on Dong. On the other hand, Yibo makes Tang kneel down in front of her grandma's photo and says, "Say sorry." Tang sees a box of money placed under the grandma's photo, the kind people give for dead people. Yibo was about to take it, but Tang doesn't let him. In the scuffle, the grandma's photo falls down and breaks. Yibo hit Tang a lot. Over here, Shenzhou tries to take Hao to the hospital, but due to her disability, she falls down herself and says, "Sorry," to him. He comforts her, and then they both hug each other. Tang's house is in a very bad state. Her dad, besides hitting her, had also broken the household thing. Tang loudly calls out Yishun's name. He was standing behind her at the door. There was also blood on the door. She tells him, "I went to the shop, but everything was broken." So he says, "It was just a small fight." Then she applies medicine to Yishun's wound, and he looks at her lovingly. Yishun sees the wound on her hand and asks her, "Did Yibo hit you?" She doesn't give any answer. She tells him, "Take care of yourself," and leaves. Yibo was gambling, so Yishun goes and sits with him and starts asking the people sitting there, "Is this a good man?" Seeing this, Yibo get very angry. Yishun tells him, "Dong and Hao are looking for you. Return their money." So he tells him, "Give me some time. I will return the money." Yishun says, "All right, but you will not raise your hand on Tang again, or else I will kill you," and leaves from there. Tang is in her room. Just then, Yibo takes his things and leave. The next day, Yishun comes to Tang's house and asks her to come to school. He asks her, "Why did you call?" So she tells him, "My suicide note is lost." Then he asks her, "Come to school," but Tang says, "I will talk later." Hao and Yishun apologize to Dong. Tang brings Yishun in front of the post box and tells him that her suicide letter is gone. So they make a plan together and write a blank letter and put it in the post box to see who comes to take the letter out. After waiting for a long time, no one comes there, so they both go back home. Tang goes to school the next day, and on the blackboard, a drawing of her and Yishun is made. Seeing this, she says nothing, but her friend removes it from the blackboard. Then, Yishun brings a bun for Tang. They both share and eat it. Tang says, "This love letter, someone has written it very well, and the stamp on it is available in our shop, which means someone knows me very well." Hearing this, he gets jealous. Tang was feeling cold, so he gives her his jacket. Tang asks him about his past, so he says, "When I was 16, some boys bullied me, so I fought with them. After that, I was sent to a reform school. After coming back, Dong gave me everything. I had nothing." Tang asks him, "Think about your life," to which he also agrees. Then Tang asks him, "Come to school with a new hairstyle so that you look like a student." Next scene, 2026. Neon brings Shen Cheng in front of the post box from where her father had also disappeared, but he doesn't trust her. He thinks, "My mother has been kidnapped." Just then, that cat also arrives there. Shen Cheng has that same suicide note in his hand. The security guard puts this note in the box. In 1991, Tang and Yishun hear some sound from the post box. Both of them come running there. That cat was also present there. When they open the box, the same suicide note that Tang had written and which was lost is there. But the letter's cover is not found. Tang looks on with fear and shock. Yishun checks the entire post box again. Then Tang writes a trial letter, and when she puts it in the post box, nothing happens there. She tells Yishun, "This works at midnight, and when the cat is around." Then both decide to come at midnight. On the other hand, Nian says to Shen Cheng, "This must be the work of some spirit. Now you must believe it, right?" But he doesn't trust her. Shen Cheng tells Nian, "I don't know anyone in this city, so I have to come to your house." Then he comes to her house and starts roaming around the entire house. So Nian says, "You didn't even see the washroom." Then he realizes that she has not kidnapped his mom here. Then he talks about finding their parents. Just then, Nian also tells him everything about her father. Shen Cheng says, "Your father must be an imposter." But she denies it and says, "I have been living with my father since childhood. How can he be a fake?" Shen Cheng says, "After going abroad, I didn't talk much with my mom, and her relationship with my father was also not good." Nian talks about her mom who died at the time of her birth. Hearing all this, Nian says, "All this cannot be a coincidence. Surely, Shen Cheng's mom and my father have some past relationship." The next day, Nian was writing a letter and was also going to send some stationery with it. Shen Cheng asks her, "What are you doing?" So she explains, "This only happens at midnight, so I will write a letter today." Shen Cheng says, "Tang is my mom, so I will be the one to write the letter," because he doesn't trust Nian and the security guard. Nian gives it to him. They both come to the post box at midnight. Nian had also brought food for the cat. Shen Cheng turns on the recording on his mobile and places it inside the box. On the other side, Yishun puts the letter in the post box. Now, as soon as that cat arrives there, Tang opens the box and sees that the letter is gone. They both become happy. But here, nothing had happened to Shen Cheng's things. He hadn't written any letter but had put a blank paper. Seeing this, Nian starts getting angry at him. Shen Cheng calls this a drama. Then, as soon as he goes to take the things out of the box, Tang's letter is there. Nian reads that letter. In it, it was written who wrote the love letter and about the box. Seeing the date on it, both are shocked. Just then, Nian says, "Now do you trust me or not?" He is shocked and says, "How is it possible that this connects a 35-year timeline?" Nian decides to write a reply letter. In the morning, Yishun checks the box, but no letter has arrived. So Tang says it will only come at midnight. Yishun and Hao are again with Dong and think of opening their shop again. On the other hand, Tang is waiting for 12 o'clock. At the same time, Shen Cheng and Nian put the letter in the box. When Tang opens it, there is a letter inside. Seeing this, she becomes very happy and goes to the shop to show it to Yichun. They read that letter together, in which Nian had mentioned the event happening on the 23rd, and it was also written about the love letter that perhaps Yu Jihong had written. Yishun says, "This means a time gap of 35 years, which means she is from the future. It must be Yu Jihong who wrote the love letter." She says, "I don't know any man by this name." Tang says, "We will wait until the 23rd, which will confirm it." Yishun goes home and reads the letter. Then he comes to Tang's house again and shows her both letters, one that Yishun had written and one that had come from the future. Their names were also matching. She says, "After 35 years, he will be 50 years old. Who would write a letter to Tang then?" Yishun says, "This is his future self who wrote this letter to Tang, which has come to the past." Both look at each other and are shocked. Yu Zhuhong was helping the old man move his cart, and that postbox was also in the same cart. Here in 1991, Yishun and Tang are talking about the postbox that they had seen somewhere and had helped that old man. And after that, the love letters started coming. In 2026, Nian gets a call from a police officer. They had found out about her dad. She calls the guard and Shen Cheng. They go in a car to a deserted place. There is an old man there, but he is not her dad. He is shivering from the cold, so Nian gives him her jacket. Then she starts crying for her dad. Seeing Nian crying, Shen Cheng feels very bad. In 1991, Dong reopens his shop. Meanwhile, Tang asks Yishun, "Rejoin school." Yishun is washing clothes at home. Tang goes there and cuts his hair. She says, "Now stay away from the bully boys and focus well on your studies. If we both get good marks, we will leave this place." Yishun was looking very handsome after the haircut. Then he comes to drop Tang home and tells her, "Tomorrow we will go to school together." She gives him an envelope and goes inside the house. He opens it and sees that there is a postcard inside on which Tang from 2026 had written best wishes for Yishun. He smiles seeing it. Tang is blushing thinking about Yishun. Just then, someone hits her on the head from behind with something, and she falls right there. Yishun hears a sound but ignores it and leaves. Actually, Yibo had come back. He locks Tang in the room. Yishun goes to her house to take Tang to school. He calls out to her but gets no response, so he goes to school. In class, the bully boys bully him. So he tells them, "Quietly complete your graduation. If you talk about me and Tang, I won't spare you." Yishun finds out from school that Tang's father has taken leave for her, so he understands something is wrong. He runs to Tang's house, but she is not there either. He starts searching for her everywhere. When he can't find her, he goes to the police station to file a missing person complaint. Just then, a policeman is there, who was also there that night when he had called Tang mental. He tells him, "That girl is mental. You said, I will get her treated." So he leaves from there too. Then, on the way, he takes a cycle from a man. On the other hand, Yibo is taking Tang to a mental hospital with her mouth tied. Just then, he gets there and beats Yibo a lot and says, "How can you leave your own daughter at a mental hospital?" Just then, Yibo threatens them and leaves from there. Yishun unties her hands and feet and she starts crying. Then they both hug each other. Then he brings her home, where Tang tells him about herself. "My mom and dad used to work in a factory." Yibo was very suspicious of mom. If she talked to anyone, he would hit her. This happened every day, so one day mom disappeared with the factory's money. So now he takes out that anger on me. Once there was a fire in the factory and he saved many people, for which he also received an award. Yibo maintains a good image in society. He also helps people. If I tell people these things, they don't believe me. That's why Grandma, before she died, had transferred this house to my name, and now he wants to take that house too. Yishun says, "My family left nothing for me. When I was 4 years old, my mom said that your father had gone somewhere, and she would find him and bring him back, but she never came back. So I used to eat from the dustbin. Tanchi's mom took me to an orphanage. She wanted me to get a good education, but in school, everyone bullied me. One day, the kids threw my books in the toilet, so I had a fight with them, and I was sent to a reform school. When I came back, I started living with Dong's people. They also used to fight, so I started fighting too. Tanchi used to like Dong." Yishun tells Tang, "Family is so nice. I want to be your family." To which she also says, "Yes, Then they both start going to school together. Yishun teaches Tang how to ride a cycle and she explains math to him, but he just can't understand it. Then September 23rd arrives. They are waiting. They both come to the seaside. Just then, a very large waterspout appears in the ocean. They are shocked, and Tang writes a reply to the letter saying, "There was a very large waterspout here, and I don't know anything about that Yu Ji Hong," and then posts the letter. Here in 2026, she shows the letter in which Tang had written, "I know nothing about the love letter." So he says, this means there is someone else who is using the postbox. Shen Cheng needs to talk to his mother about some personal things. He writes a letter and posts it. He starts to leave. Nian asks, "Where are you going?" And he tells her, "I have to go, as they have found my mom." In the past, Tang's mom brings fish cakes for her, and Yibo beats her a lot saying, "You stole money from the factory to bring this." She denies it, but he still hits her a lot. Then Tang says, "I don't want to eat fish cakes, I don't like them." Her mom tells her, "Wait for me outside the school. This is our secret, and I will bring fish cakes for you." Now in 2026, Shen Cheng gets a call from the police station to identify a dead body. Shen Cheng goes inside, and then quietly starts to leave from the outside. Nian stops him and asks, he says, "Your dad killed my mom, because there was a man in my mom's car who is missing, and your dad is also missing." Nian tries hard to convince him, saying, "My dad is not a murderer, and he hasn't done anything." Then she starts calling her dad. Then a police officer investigates Nian. He shows her a picture. She says, "This is not my dad." The officer says, "Yu Ji Hong died 20 years ago. The man you are living with is someone else, not your dad." She is stunned. In 1991, some goons come to Tang's house. They start picking up their things and throwing them out. So Tang and Yishun scare them and make them run away. Then she takes out the papers and decides to give this house to him. Just then, he asks her, "Why are you doing this?" She says, "The house doesn't matter to me. You are important to me." Then she calls Yibo and asks him to come home. When he comes, she asks him, "Sign this paper," to which he refuses. So Tang says, "Then I can't give you these house papers." So he signs out of compulsion. Then Tang, with her cookies and grandma's picture, comes out of the house. Yishun brings her to his house. Yishun then comes to Dong's shop and asks him to go shopping because he had to buy a dress for Tang. So Hao teases him, at which he starts to blush. The next day, a girl comes with an expulsion letter against Yishun and gives it to Tang. Yishun is being expelled from school because his marks are not good. But when she opens it, it says, "Yishun harasses girls." So she then says to the girls in the class, "Any one girl can come forward and say that he harasses girls." But no one comes. At this, she points towards the bully boys and says, "These are the people who harass everyone." Yishun smiles, looking at Tang, because she was taking his side. On the way back from school, she asks him to buy a bed, but Yishun has to go to Hao's, so he leaves. Then Yishun shops for Tang. He buys very nice dresses for her. She was looking very beautiful in those dresses, and they both get drenched in the rain. The next day was the opening of Dong's shop. Everyone gets their photos clicked. Tang is waiting for the letter. Just then, she receives Shen Cheng's letter. Actually, in 2026, Mahi had come in front of the postbox and was waiting for the letter. Mahi had promised Nian to wait for the letter. Meanwhile, the police officer finds Yishun's file, who was in jail for a murder case and was pretending to be Nian's father. Then we see Yishun and Tang are in a shop. Then Tang asks him, "When is your birthday?" And he becomes sad. He doesn't know. Coming home, Tang brings a cake to him and says, "From today, November 9th will be your birthday, and we will celebrate it every time." Then she asks him for his 3 wishes. He says Tang gets admission into the university, gets a chance to leave this town, and that she always stays happy. Tang prays for him to be happy. In the next scene, Yishun has a knife in his hand, and he tells Tang, "Leave from here." But she doesn't agree. He runs away from there and goes to the police station and confesses, "I committed a murder." Tang also goes there, but the police separate them. Tang goes to the police station every day to meet Yishun, but he refuses to meet her. Then one day, a police officer gives her a letter that Yishun had given for her. It said, "You have to go to university. You have to fulfill the dream you saw and live a good life for me." Tang works very hard. She also gets admission into the university. She goes to the jail to meet Yishun, but she finds out that he has been shifted to another jail. When she goes there, the police tell her, "You have no direct relationship, so we can't tell you anything." Tang sits very sad by the riverside. She wanted to share her dreams only with Yishun. After that, she leaves the town. In 1995, she became a volunteer at an orphanage. In 1996, Hao comes to meet Tang, and she asks him about Yishun. He tells her he got a disease and died, but she doesn't trust him and gets hyper. Then he gives her a graveyard address and leaves from there. When she goes there, she sees Yishun's name written. She has no reason to live. She is about to commit suicide when she gets flashbacks in which she and Yishun had seen many sweet dreams. She comes to a place and starts digging the ground. She finds a cookie box there. Seeing this, she starts crying even more. Now, in 2005, Yishun gets out of jail. A police officer gives him some of his things that Tang had given. He takes them and comes to the riverside. He also sees the letter in which Tang had written that she has joined the university. Yishun leaves from there. Then he meets Hao, who also has a son. Dong had also bought a boat and had gone to the sea, and it has been 7 years since he did. Then Hao gives him Tang's phone number. Yishun meets Hao and leaves. Yishun comes to the graveyard. A cake is placed there. A lady is cleaning. He asks her, "Who placed this cake?" And she tells him, "Tang places a cake here every year and leaves after cleaning." Seeing this, he cries a lot and starts eating the cake. Yishun calls Tang, and he hears a child's voice. It is Shen Cheng, who is calling Tang Mom. He cuts the call and comes to Beijing City. He comes inside a house whose condition is very bad. A lady is there. He tells them, "I am a friend of Yu Jihong." Just then, a little girl comes there who starts calling Yishun Dad. This girl is Neon. Seeing this, the grandma starts crying because the real Yu Jihong had died. He had asked Yishun, "Take care of my daughter and mom." Just then he says, "I will take care of her." The grandma's health deteriorates, so he promises her to take care of Nian. Then the grandma dies. Yishun takes Nian and goes somewhere else. He works on a ship, and with whatever income he gets Nian admitted to school. They both are very happy together. Yishun goes to the graveyard every year on November 9th to see Tang. In this way, 24 years pass, but they never talked. Next scene, in 2026, Shen Cheng opens the cookie box and takes out a letter. Then he asks Nian carefully, "Your father's real name was Yishun?" Nian says, "Tang is alive in 1991. Shen Cheng writes a letter saying, "I am Tang's son." Shen Cheng and Nian go to the police station. There, they find out that Yishun and Yu Jihong were in the same cell. Due to some illness, Yu Jihong had died, so he had asked Yishun take care of Nian. When Nian finds all this out, she becomes very sad. She thought, "The person I considered my father was not my father at all." Shen Cheng was also very confused about Yishun's past. He is sitting alone in front of the post box. He asks the guard about Yishun and finds out that he was a very quiet and good man. Then Shen Cheng gets a text with all of Tang's information. Shen Cheng goes to the place where Yishun and Tang used to be for information. Nian is also with him. There they meet Tongxi, who had grown very old. They ask her about Yishun and Tong. She says, "I heard Tang committed the murder, not Yishun, but to save Tong, Yishun gave his name because he could even give his life for Tong." He asks, "From whom can I get Yishun's information and address?" So she tells him, "Both were my students, and the address can be obtained from Yishun's friend, Hao." Then Shen Cheng gives her his card. In 1991, Yishun and Tang are surprised to see Shen Cheng's letter. The letter said, "Yishun is in danger from Tang." Tang says, "Why would he trust Shen Cheng?" Yishun says, "There is a line in it that only Tang and her mom know. Both try to sleep, but can't." Then it starts raining very heavily. All the things start getting wet, so they start gathering them. Just then, they run out of paper to wrap the books at the shop, so they both go out to get it. When they come in front of the bookshop, the postbox is not there, so they both get worried. On the other side, Dong locks the shop and leaves. Then, on the way, Bao's men throw dirty water on Shenzhou. She can't do anything in her defense. Then they come to the bookshop. Tang tells them to go out, but they start vandalizing. After which, the owner gives Tang her salary and tells her, "You're fired." She comes home worried. Yishun asks, "What happened?" Tang tells him everything. He gets very angry and wants to go beat those people up, but Tang stops him. Meanwhile, in 2026, some workers come to take the post box. The security guard forbids them, saying, "Until you bring the papers, you can't take this box from here." Then they leave, and Neon hears this because she was talking to him on the call at that time. Tang had bought the grave next to Yishun's. Here, Hao has come to meet Nian and Shen Cheng. He tells them, "Yishun had asked me to give Tang the news of his fake death so that she could move on in her life and not wait for him." Shen Cheng asks him about Yishun's family. He says, he has no one, only Tang. Yi Bo had made their lives very difficult. It was Yishun who saved Tang from that life. Then they ask about the murder case. He tells them, "I don't know anything about that because at that time I was in jail myself." Bao's men had made their lives hell. They had also set the bookshop on fire to harass Tang. To harass Hao, they had misbehaved with Shenzhou and her grandma, for which Hao and Yishun wanted to go and beat them up, but Dong stopped them. Then Dong goes before Bao, kneels down, and asks for forgiveness. He says, "I will forgive you on one condition. You do a job for me." Dong says, "All right, this is the last time." Then he comes and tells Yishun and Hao. They tell him, "This is very risky, and even after this, it's not confirmed that Bao will leave us alone." Here, Tang and Yishun are sitting together. Both have a lot of pain in their hearts, but they hide it and laugh. Then they make noodles and eat. On the other side, Dong and Tanchi are also talking to each other. He says, "Sorry," gives her money, and she leaves from there. And Hao and Shenzhou are together. She gives him a sweater she knitted with her own hands. Then the three of them are leaving in a van. Tang gets suspicious that something wrong is definitely going to happen. She follows the van. Those people had come for drug smuggling, but the people they were supposed to give the drugs to hadn't arrived yet. Yishun becomes doubtful. He opens a box, one has water in it. He opens the other box, and Shenzhou is in it. Just then, Bao's men come and start beating them. This was all their plan to kidnap Shenzhou, so the blame would fall on them. Then he tells Dong, "You can take either Hao or Yishun with you," so he can take Hao and go out. He says, "Sorry," to Yishun, and saves Hao. Just then, Tang arrives there, who had come through a window. She unties their hands and takes them out through that window. In this way, Shenzhou and Yishun's lives are saved. Going to the police station, he gives a statement. "Yishun saved my life." In the present, hearing all this, they become sad. Shencheng understands that the scars on his mom's hand were from that accident. Then Hao shows them the picture from the shop's opening. In 1991, Tang comes to the jail, but no one lets her meet Yishun. She also asks, "How is his injury?" The police officer says, "We will only tell his family." So she says, "I am his family." But they tell her, "Leave from here." The next day, Yishun is released from jail, and they both come home. Shenzhou comes to Yishun and invites him and Tang to dinner. They have a very good chat. He also offers him a job at his father's club, but Yishun refuses and tells him, "Just take care of Tang in school. Now I will work in a factory." Then he starts working very hard. He works on a ship where he has to unload goods, and he gets good money for it. He buys a cookie box for Tang. Then, a worker is going to throw away some things, so he takes those things from him and goes to throw them away himself. Just then, he sees that cat there, and he finds the post box. Tang also becomes happy. They keep the post box in the house. Tang writes a letter in which she writes, "Yishun cannot do anything bad with me. I will be happy with him." He takes the letter from Tang and asks Shencheng to take good care of his dad and Tang. Hiding from Tang, he posts the letter. Shenzhou's dad and Tang's mom were friends. They say, "Tang's mom had helped us a lot. They were good friends, but Yibo was suspicious." They say, "If you two need any help, you can take it from me." In 2026, Nian tells Shencheng they are going to remove the postbox from there. So they both go there. Then Nian finds out that her father has been found. When she goes there, he is not there. Nian then goes to the graveyard to her dad's grave. Yishun and Tang had died. Nian and Shencheng are standing in front of their mom and dad's graves. Their photo is also there. Then in 1991, Yibo was eating noodles at a shop. He sees a news report that the fish factory will be redeveloped. Yibo gets worried hearing this. Then he goes to the goon to ask for his help and gives him a lot of money in return. Yijun sees Yibo while working there. He quickly goes home and tells Tang. He tells her, "Stay hidden so that he doesn't find out that you are living with me." Tang asks him to take food. He says, "I have night duty. I will be late. After that, I also have to sit in front of the post box and wait for the letter." Now, in 2026, an old man's dead body is found in a river. The police call Shen Cheng for investigation. This is Yibo's dead body. When old Tang is going in a car, she sees an old man picking up trash. He looks like Yibo to her. Tang follows him. Now, they are both in the car. Yibo couldn't believe that he had found Tang again. She has a car and money. She asks him, "Where's my mom?" He tells her, "She was cheating on me, so I killed her." Just then, she says angrily, "Those 2 tickets were for her and her mom. She was coming to meet me that day." Yibo says, "You hid this from me for so many years." Tang starts driving. He thinks she will take him with her. The car comes near a deserted hill, meaning Tang, to take revenge for her mom, killed Yibo and also committed suicide herself. In the present, Nian is with Shen Cheng. On the other side, workers come to remove the post box. Just then, the security guard gets a message from Shen Cheng. In the last letter that was posted, write in post, "On November 30th, Yi Shun should not attempt any murder. There is very little time left until 12 o'clock. Just then, water spills on that page. Only a corner is left, on which he writes, "November 30th, no murder." Mahi quickly puts that piece in the post box. Now in 1991, Tang is with Shenzhou. He offers, "Let me drop you home." But she says, "I have to meet Yi Shun." Just then, a bike and a cycle have an accident in front of the store. Yibo is in it. Tang gets scared seeing this. There is a sack on the bike. Tang starts following Yibo. Shenzhou quickly goes to call Yishun. Yishun is waiting in front of the store. When Tang doesn't come, he is going back. Just then, that cat comes in front of his cycle. Seeing it, he comes back in front of the postbox. He opens it and finds that piece, on which was written, November 30th, no murder. Just then, Shenzhou comes there and tells him, Tang has gone after Yibo to the hillside. Yishun goes after Yibo. He is about to throw the sack into the sea. Tang asks him, what did you do with my mom? Yibo tells the goon, kill her too. Just then, Yishun arrives there, and a big fight happens between them. Yishun has a knife in his hand. He is about to strike when he remembers the words written on that piece, November 30th, no murder. So he stops. Just then, the police also arrive there and take away Tang's mom's dead body and Yibo and that goon. Tang hugs Yishun. Yishun starts crying and says, I didn't commit any murder. Meanwhile, in 2026, Nian and Shencheng find out about the letter being posted. They both smile. Then they say to each other, we will meet again. Shencheng starts telling about himself. I am 27 years old. I am a dentist. I never wanted to be a dentist. Nian smiles, hugs him, and says, we will definitely meet. Shencheng is sitting in front of his mom's grave. He was crying, but he was also happy and thought, I have changed my mom's fate. When Nian wakes up, she is in another room. That cat is also there. She calls her dad from her phone, but the call doesn't connect. Then she searches for Shencheng, but he is not there either. And she starts crying because she had lost her dad and Shencheng at the same time due to the past changing. But Tang and Yishun write a letter. They both write, thank you, Nian and Shencheng. And this is the happy ending of the drama.